Shalom. Shalom. This is a couple brothers from Great Millstone, Houston. And before we get started, we'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh.
Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. You know, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered across the four winds. You know, we're coming into some bad times here, but on the other side of that, you know, we have a kingdom in store for us. We have a kingdom that's waiting for us that's been prophesied by the Holy Scripture. You know, I guess this might get
In Daniel chapter 7 and verse 18, it says, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever."
All right, so the saints of the Most High are going to possess the kingdom forever and ever. So who are those saints? Let's somebody get that Psalm 65.
Yeah.
Who are those saints we're talking about? We're not talking about, you know, some Edomites that are, you know, that did trafficking, you know, of little kids all around the world. We're talking about the saints of the Most High.
I got you. This is Psalms chapter 50 and verse 5. "Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice."
Okay, so who is that? Who made a covenant with the Most High by sacrifice? Somebody get that Exodus 24. Yeah. Who made a covenant with the Most High by sacrifice? The children of Israel. You know. Somebody got it?
Exodus 24. Where you want to start?
Not from the top, verse 55.
This is Exodus chapter 24. I'll start at verse 4. This is Exodus chapter 24 and verse 4. "And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and rose up early in the morning, and built an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel." Verse 5. "And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And they said, All that the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hath said we will do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai made with you concerning all these words."
So the saints are going to take the kingdom and possess it forever and ever under our Lord Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, but his name is Yahweh Shai in the Hebrew. It means he is the deliverer. And his father's name is Yahweh, which means he is or he exists. So these are the powers of the Hebrew Israelite.
I got a precept. This is Psalms chapter 148 and verse 14. It says, "He also exalteth the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even the children of Israel. A people near unto him, praise ye the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai." You know, just another precept of going to who the saints are. That's the people the Lord made a sacrifice with, like the brother brought out in Psalms 50 and 5. And also, you know, directly saying the children of Israel are the saints of the Most High, people that's nigh unto him. And it has never changed. It has never changed, and it will never change.
In 2 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 17, it says, "We hope also that the Most High that delivered all his people and gave them," talking about the Israelites, it says, "We hope also that the Most High that delivered all his people and gave them all inheritance and the kingdom and the priesthood and the sanctuary, as he promised in the law, and will surely have mercy upon us, and gather us together out of every land under heaven unto the holy place. We have delivered us out of great troubles and have purified the place, and that's ultimately what's coming. The scripture said the Lord gave us everything, even the kingdom. You know, and that can't change. Because remember, these blessings don't just start with what people think is or even the promises of who they think is ignorantly Jesus. No, it started with Abraham. That was promises to his seed that have to be fulfilled, man. The land, everything have to be fulfilled. And then they got to be fulfilled with his son, beginning the kingdom with that nation. But you got it, Don.
Somebody grab it at Genesis 35. But yeah. So we're talking about the children of Israel. So the children of Israel are the sons of Jacob. You know, because Jacob's name was changed to Israel.
Okay. This is Genesis chapter 35 and verse 10. And the Most High said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel.
I'm going to keep reading.
Verse 11. And the Most High said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. Verse 12. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac, to thee I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land.
And that's what the brother had just said. You know, the promise has always been to the Israelites. You know, the Most High, he changed Jacob's name to Israel, and then he told him the land is an inheritance of his and the seed after him. And that is what is going to happen. You know, that's what's going to happen in the near future. We have to go through a great tribulation in order to get there, but the promise has never changed. The promise is always the same, that the saints will inherit the kingdom. I got it. I got one.
This is Malachi chapter 3 and verse 6. For I am Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, I change not. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So this promise, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to keep his promise, he's going to keep his word. Even to the point to where our bodies have to be changed so we can fully keep his word. So the Lord is keeping his word, he's keeping his promise, and he's waking us up in these last days.
That's it. Yeah. Like the brother had said, you know, the Lord is going to keep his promise, and he's going to change our bodies. You know, we're the only ones that are going to receive, you know, the new covenant as well as the old covenant. You got it?
It said Jeremiah
31
and 31, the new covenant.
Time.
This is Jeremiah chapter 31 in verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
And that doesn't include the other nations. He said, I will make a new covenant with the house of Judah, being the southern tribe, and the house of Israel, being the northern tribe. You know, the Israel split after King Solomon. So, you know, that's how the Lord distinguishes Israel being the northern tribes, or it can be referred to as the tribe of Joseph or the tribe of Ephraim. But that's the northern tribes, and the tribe of Judah, which is the three southern tribes.
Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 32. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them out of the hand, Salakia, that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord. But it shall be the covenant, but this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord.
And that's what that's the covenant. The first covenant was with the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt, and the second covenant is with the same people. The same people is not for any other nation. You know, that being said, you know, when you go into the New Testament, it says the exact same thing in Hebrews chapter 8. But so that being the case, when we're talking about Gentiles in the New Testament, we're talking about Hebrew Israelites in a Gentile state of mind. We're not talking about Hebrew Israelites, you know, those are the circumcision, but those are the uncircumcision.
Jeremiah chapter 31 in verse 33, it says, "But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no man, Salaki, and they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord. For they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them, saith the Lord. For I will forgive their iniquity, and I will remember their sin no more."
Yeah, so the Lord said that he was going to forgive our iniquity and remember our sin no more. But a lot of people don't even know what sin is. You know, they don't know that the law, statutes, and commandments are, we made an agreement with the Lord. We just went over it. You know, did we get to the part where we said all these things we would do and be obedient in 24?
In Exodus? Yeah.
Yeah, we did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all these things, but so I lost my train of thought. Okay, get 1 John 3:4.
This is 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. "Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law."
And most people don't even know that. I mean, you can talk to a Christian, and they say that sin is done away with, but they don't even know what sin is. You know, how can a sin be done away with when you're what they so called you're born a sinner? How does that work?
Yeah, they say the law is done away with.
Fine. So the law can't be done away with if you're a sinner. I mean, it's simple. Those are easy concepts that, you know, the Christian church has failed us with.
If I can add, I think it was Apostle Paul. He said, "How would we know what was sin if it wasn't for the law?"
I got this.
He said, "Because the law tells us what sin is. If it wasn't for the law, how would we know what is adultery or murder? If it wasn't for sin, how would we know certain things?" So,
yeah, I was speaking to a guy, and he told me, well, you know, the things you doing or whatever gonna cause you to go to hell. I was like, well, how's that work? How's that work? If sin is done away with, then how am I gonna go to hell? You know, so, you know, if sin is done away with, essentially, you know, you can lay up with your mama. You know, you can lay up with your sister. You can eat you can eat whatever, a skunk tail, you know, a electric eel. You can do all of these different things if sin is done away with. But, you know, our people having a zeal, they understand we're not supposed to eat these things.
If I can add too, you know, with that being said, well, can I get that precept first? This is Romans chapter 3 and verse 20. It says, "Therefore, by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified in his sight." Speaking about in the eyes of the Lord. You're not going to be saved by the law. But that doesn't, you know, we're not bringing this out to say, you know, we, you know, just forsake the law. No, we keep it to the best of our ability. We teach that we ought to keep the law. But we understand that salvation is not coming by way of the law, because we can't keep it 100%. In dealing with the Heavenly Father, you either do this or do that, and that's it. With Yahushua, there's, grace and mercy. But going back, Romans chapter 3 and 20, it says, "There shall no flesh be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin." So that's how we know when we go off. That keeps us in our boundaries. So, you know, in you know, for lack of better words, but like the brother said, if the law is done away with, you could go sleep with your mother. You could go sleep with your children. That's fucking wicked. The law tells us we can't do those abominable acts. Man and man shouldn't lie together, women and women. Certain foods we shouldn't eat. There's certain particular days we should honor, you know, according to the law of the Lord. So if the law is done away with, like the brother said, you could just live, you know, recklessly. That's why this is such a sinful nation. You know? You got it.
This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17. This is Yahushua speaking, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. This is, it says, "Think not that I am come to destroy the law." This is out of his own mouth. He didn't come to destroy the law so you can do whatever you want. He came to show us a better way, and that's to the Israelites. "Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I come not to destroy, but to fulfill." So he's fulfilling everything that's written about him in the law and in the prophets. And if you follow Yahushua, you follow everything in his life. He kept the law 100%. He did it perfectly. That's why he has the title, everything that he has. That's why he's in the position. He has that glory. Because he's the one that did it. This is why you need to reverence him. It's like you got it. Verse 18, "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled."
So I don't know what these what these pastors and these things are reading, because right there in red letter, Yahushua is saying not one jot, not one tittle, not the least thing will pass away from the law until all be fulfilled. And like we were going into in Jeremiah 31, he said that he wouldn't do away with the Hebrew Israelites as long as the sun comes up, as long as Esau can't search out the depths of the sea. I mean, damn, did I lose something?
Just to add to the point, Yahushua has 2 instances that just came off top. The woman, that was about to be stoned. The Lord told her, don't do that no more. Sin no more. Sin is transgression of the law. Then whenever the man asked, the rich man, so to speak, asked the Lord, he called Yahushua good, and Yahushua told him there's only one good, but the Father which is in heaven. He told him, continue to keep the law. You do good by keeping the law. So the law was never done away with when we bring up Yahushua. That's just not the way that will lead to salvation. 2nd Ezra, I always bring it out, the 7th chapter, 20th verse. It tells you the Lord gave us a straight commandment, which is the law, what we ought to observe to avoid punishment.
Yeah, get Judges 5:11. Go ahead, bring it up.
This is Matthew chapter 5.
You want the Judges first?
No, y'all just keep it in the spirit. Go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 18. "For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled." Verse 19, "Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven."
So what the hell they reading in church?
I don't know.
Because they say, oh, the Old Testament done away with. Well, all I read in the New Testament is scriptures like that. That's all Paul said, yea. Romans 3:31, we established the law.
Right.
So what the fuck are they reading in the harlot house? Read that again, huh?
Matthew chapter 5 and verse 19, "Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so."
So he just said now one jot or one tittle is going to be removed from the law till all be fulfilled. And then he said what?
And "Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven."
Exactly. So TDJ, Shakri Flow Dollar, all these niggas they're gonna be least in the kingdom. Because they telling you the law is done away with. They teaching you not to keep the law. And this is why lawlessness run rampant, and you got a bunch of lame duck Christians in the world.
Right.
Bunch of lame duck, go along to get along, and that ain't what Yahushua stood for. That's why they flocked to sweet Jesus. Because Yahushua, you gotta stand up against this world. You can't just go along to get along. You gotta stir shit up out here. Go to Judges.
It's Judges chapter 5 and 11. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers.
And see, that's another thing. They run around here thinking they saved. They think they delivered. But you wicked as hell. You wicked as hell. Right, I mean, they're living in destruction. As the scripture said, they're in the congregation of the dead with Proverbs 21:16.
Right.
They in the congregation of the dead, don't even know it. You in hell. You catching hell. You look like hell. All people fucked up out here and think this the goddamn way. They prefer living under sweet Jesus fucked up than disciplining themselves under Yahushua in this doctrine, this discipline, and being raised up. They don't want it, they want to stay niggas. All people are a bunch of low life, low vibrational niggas. Go ahead,
Judges 5:11.
Oh, yeah.
They that are delivered from the noise of the orchards in a place of joy and water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
So
Even-
what are the righteous acts? Oh, well, I need to help an old lady cross the street so I don't, go to hell.
You have a food program, hand out turkey sandwiches.
Yeah, hand out food on the holidays.
Yeah, hand out
Thanksgiving and Christmas. What is a righteous act? And that goes back to what the brother brought out. The law gives you the knowledge of sin, but it also gives you the knowledge of righteousness. It's just teaching you not to sin. And not to sin is to live righteous. And all people don't want righteous. Now, John the 3rd chapter tells us that, teaches us that. It's all through the scripture. With Jake being rebellious. You read Isaiah 29, and niggas say, prophesy not to us right things,
Right.
speaking to us smooth things. We want to hear about prosperity and sowing a seed in this world. You don't sow a seed in this world and expect righteousness. And this world is wicked. You sow a seed and well, really the seed is the word you're supposed to be sown into. We are to be sown into. With the living word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, we're supposed to produce fruit. We're supposed to produce fruit out in this world. But yeah, that was, you got some more in there?
Oh, it says, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of the village in Israel, then shall the people go down to the gate. I got one to back you up.
So the righteous acts is the law. You got to learn righteousness from the law. You got to get back to the righteousness of dietary law and eating better. Yeah, this all trash, but keep the law as best you can. Rehearse the righteous act. Start wearing natural fibers, one at a time. Quit wearing mixed blends, poly blend material. Follow what you can follow, keep what you can keep. Stay out of other men's bedrooms. Keep what you can keep. Because that's what the scriptures say. They that are delivered from the noise of the archers, meaning the nuclear destruction. That's coming. It's brewing. All right? There, in the place of drawing waters, was the place of our captivity. Here in North America. All right, we slaves all the day long. All right? It used to be from can't see in the morning till can't see at night. This devil that went corporate, he got you working around the clock. He'll either have two 12-hour shifts, or he have 3 8s. And he keep it running around the clock. Right, we slaves. They don't work like that overseas in Europe and Spain. They got 6-hour days and shit. They be home at 2 in the evening or 1, and they'll have a 2-3 hour lunch break, go back to work for a few hours in the evening, come on back home, drink some more wine, and eat bread. That's over in France.
And
They don't work but a 4-5 hour day. What's that?
they have like a 30, 1 month out of the year they don't have to work. They
Don't
free
do
pay.
shit. See, that's
Yeah.
how you that's how you build yourself. This shit out here, they don't allow you to build yourself. You just continually, as a slave does, you continually tend into these bastards. In this goddamn system. You need a month out just to goddamn recuperate, to rest. We gotta rest. The Most High rested. The devil he don't want to honor the Sabbath. He don't want, you know. We got to get out of here, man. But yeah, you don't even have time, you know, to, and that's what they want. They don't want you to. So if you take time out and just to stop to think, you'll see all this shit is fucked up. That's why you got to keep you busy. Plus, when you're not working for him, he got all kind of shit out here to keep you entertained. From sports to movies to just drama. Look at all the drama that's going on. Black men looking bad out here, man. But the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. That ain't us. But all you see is us. You see, this is strategy. Because we are at war. Our people don't want to recognize that we are at war. And all the image of wickedness is us. We're the Epstein list. It's a worldwide organization of some wrong shit going on. And it's the elite. Well, I don't ever see nothing, or even you don't even hear about it. People don't even mention it. Yet they put it all in your face. Like it's funny, they laugh. They wear skin shoes, diamonds with blood diamonds, literally.
Have a feast with people laying on.
They do the spirit cooking. Yeah, sure, y'all jump in there, man. This is what they doing, but Shannon Sharp, 20-year-old, man, get the fuck out of here, man.
Diddy and shit like that.
Yeah, Diddy. Now Diddy got what he deserved. Shannon just, you see, and you know what they go back to? That's that goddamn football culture. Cause he got a fetish about being a slave. Basically, he got damn near the same shit with Sakari, and they both got busted in the same way by text. Now, Alizé like to be dominated by white women, or with a black woman that got dominated by the black man, or the so-called white man.
Slavery.
And he liked to, Shannon Sharp liked to be talked down to by the white woman. And that's Willie Lynch shit. Football reinforces that stereotype because it's one little frail white man bossing around all these big buck niggas.
Right.
And they run around the goddamn dressing room butt naked, slapping each other, playing grab ass. And this plays into the psychology of a lot of the freakiness that come out. Now the brother spoke on this last Sunday. You on the football field, you got your hand in between a man's leg. That whole shit is on the homo vibe.
Right.
So it's no wonder he got these freaky fetishes. But look, you in the world, you don't see the fucking poison. Because football is held in high esteem. Give me the Ecclesiastes 10 and 6. But hold what you got out. We coming back to that. Football is held in high esteem, and it's on some homo-ish. Just because the white man put his psychology in it. And it's pure state, it's just a sport. It's meant to teach boys the art of war. Young men, adolescents, growing up, you become a grown man. What did Paul say? Get it. Get it. Read Ecclesiastes 10 and 6.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 6. It says, folly is set in great dignity.
Right, especially in Babylon. But this whole world is folly. But guess what? Babylon is the root. It broadcasts its folly globally. All right, and again, we the face of a lot of the goddamn foolishness. You know? But yeah, this folly is set in high regard. Football, these some multi-million dollar niggas to play football. And then they end up, can't even formulate a sentence when they get up in age. And boxers, the same way. But, you know, what do they contribute to society? And that's why they make the millions. Yeah, distraction, entertainment. The brother said bread and circus. Y'all speak up, y'all jump in there. And that's why they make the money they make. They ain't gonna pay the mill workers, the factory workers, even the teachers, the doctors. The doctors get paid to keep you sick.
That's what I was about to say. The doctors too. The doctors get high price and all that. Even the people, even outside of real work, like NASA people, they get paid a lot too to keep keep faking shit like that. You have people who paid to keep the story going.
Right.
And they ain't gonna tell you, hey, I'm paying to keep the story. For example, the Truman Show. This man ain't
We
know.
in the goddamn Truman Show.
Yeah, he
But
ain't know his friend, his wife talking to him, and she saying, hey, how you doing, baby? Do you want some of this milkshake right here? Got so and so grams and vitamins and all this in it. It's $17.99. He didn't know it was fake, but people was getting paid to, and it's the same thing we seeing right now. Can I get this real quick? Really, I got kind of two of them.
Yeah.
To back you up, this is Joshua chapter 4 and verse 8 and verse 9. Joshua chapter 4 and 8, it says, for if Hebrews chapter 4 and 8. Hebrews chapter 4 and 8. It says, for if Yahushua, which is Joshua, that's what it's talking about, because Joshua, who came after Moses, him and Yahushua, or how to say his name in the Hebrew, it would be Yahushua. Him and our Lord had the same name, which his name was Yahushua, but then Moses changed it and said, you gonna be the one to deliver Israel and save Israel and bring them to the land. So his name would change it to Yahushua, which that's the way to prove that it ain't Jesus, But right here it says, Hebrews 4 and 8, it says, for if Yahushua or Joshua had given them rest, what is he talking about? Once we came out of Egypt, 40 years in the wilderness, if that was our real rest, that Joshua, Caleb, and the little children, if that was it for the nation of Israel, that's all we're going to get, you know what? That's a cut to a vocab now. Or these Christians saying that the kingdom not for us. It says, no, that's what it's going to say. It got another rest for the Israelites, man. They have another rest for us. And after this, I want to kind of shed light on what other types of power which is going into and why us as Israelites, we need to get out of here. You see why we need to get out of here, man? But I'm going to finish this. It says, for if Joshua had given them rest, Hebrews 4 and 8, then he would not afterward have spoken of another day. There remaineth therefore a rest to the people of the Most High.
Yeah, that's a cut out there.
So yeah, Joshua brought us into the land, but that wasn't in all be all for the Israelites. We're gonna have another rest. But that was going to the first half of what Elder Tyler Power was speaking on. Our people think they're comfortable. You know why? Because they really don't think they're slaves no more. Just because a nigga got a job or he got a scat pack, the Chargers or what's the other one? The Jeep, a Hellcat. You might have a Hellcat, the chains, or the draft. The draft tonight, niggas. See, a nigga think just because I'm making millions, I ain't no slave. I can wake up when I want, do what I want, I ain't no slave. And that's the cold way that Esau got you, though. That's where he wants you at, so you don't think you're a slave. But the point is,
that's the biggest slave. The more money you got, the more you a slave. Yeah.
Shaq had the nerve to tell Shannon Sharp. He said, because they ain't beefing right now, two big ass niggas beefing. And Shaq told Shannon Sharp, he was like, yeah, you better chill out. It was like, I know how you got in the position that you in. So who knows what he's talking about?
Yeah. Cause Shaq a Mason. So, but Shaq like him young too. He made a comment about Angel Reese.
And Ice Spice.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, in this world, that's the thing too. Esau doing all that with the having the little children in traffic. If you catch me, don't catch me. Having the little children in traffic. As soon as a grown man want to get a 19, 20-year-old, it's an issue.
It's a big thing.
It's an issue.
Problem.
That's this not our rest. According to the law, that's all right.
Right.
See, this not our rest. See, in Wilson, our kingdom, y'all will be straight. Well, did it not you? You out of there. You.
Yeah, that nigga got.
Yeah, you out of there.
Well, people tend to forget that Abraham, after he was 100 years old, he had 6 more kids.
Yeah.
That woman couldn't have been
She
more.
couldn't have been old.
Yeah, she had to be a young girl. So, and this is the father of our faith. But these things go out the window, and little girls don't want a young man; they want an older man. I mean, that's just how the stuff goes.
It's designed, even in this society, you see a lot of, especially in this time, a lot of grown up, like older men, 40s, 50s, going up for younger age women. Hey, even Trey Sanders Ross, she came out talking about, yeah, I like him young. You know, and that's what Corey Holcomb got on her. Like, so y'all got mad at me because I said I got money and a lot of access to women in poverty. You feel me? They got mad at him. So, but the point is, it was in our kingdom, in our rest, we wouldn't have to worry about none of this. We'll have money. We'll actually have real rest. No alarm clocks.
Well, there'll be no system where a woman can sue a man.
Right.
We ain't gonna have no system like that. Fuck that. Man, he gotta be, breaking the law. But yeah, we just cause, he talking rough to me or
He
cheating and all that shit.
Yeah, he cheated. Or even in the kingdom, say if something do happen and you happen to split, guess where the children and everything else going? With the man. Yeah, the man. Can you get that real quick, Doc? And I want to do this one.
This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Right, arise and depart, for this is not our rest.
Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you even with the sword destruction.
It says, because it is polluted, it will destroy you with the sword destruction. So it says, if Joshua, us went into the land of milk and honey, how the Lord promised, if that was the full promise right there, then something ain't right. Because it said we was going to have another rest. The point is, seeing our people still getting afflicted. Look at the northern kingdom. Look at what they going through. Issachar and all, and they losing, man. But it's so, guess where we at right now? What the brother just read, arise ye and depart. And not just saying get up and leave. Everywhere you go, you're going to be oppressed as an Israelite. Yeah. It's talking about spiritually separate come into the understanding of the law, of the scriptures. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man. Understand what's going on. And therefore, now when your mind be open, you really don't care about this life no more. You don't care about the riches. You got it out.
I want to get that word sword in Micah 2 and 10. That word sword is H4834 Maratazah. And it says to be or made sick. And looking up that word sick, it goes into, it says affected by physical or mental illness. Just to back up what you're saying. If you don't depart from this place, you'll physically and mentally be fucking ill, man. Perverse ways of thinking. The morals, your morals will be dropped to the lowest degree. You won't have no virtue because you're going to be maintaining outside of these words, man. That was the point.
Right, can you read that again? Because that's the point. People say, well, you're in captivity too. Right, but we ain't tripping about, we okay with it. Because we know it's not our rest. Think about it. These Israelites, they don't know they're in captivity. Therefore, they want to make it. They got to make it. They got to, buy their parents the house, daddy the truck, and, so on and so forth. You got to get the wife. You got to get Instagram famous. They think this they rest, so they have YOLO. They think this is so they got to go all out right now.
Right.
Once you understand, coming to the understanding of the Lord, the prophecies, that all is about to go anyway, you separated yourself from that. Now, therefore, it's not your rest, so you go in your life not caring. You looking forward to something else. The other rest that's coming for us, man. You ain't worried about that now. Remember, we pilgrims. Once our forefathers left a spot, guess what? They weren't tripping on the old spot or who set up tent or set up camp right there. They was moving on. You got it, bro. And I want to get this just still to back up other times of power. Why we need to get out of here? Because there's a lot going on that's not if this is the right word I'm looking for, conducive to society. And that's on all aspects of life. Can I brother fact check that word? Conducive. It's on all aspects of life. As far as the food is fake, the dynamic between men and women is all screwed up. The family structure gone. The music taste through. The animals now. Animals, the sea. Every time Bonesy go fish, like, you think we'll eat something out of here? Oh, eating it out of that water. Hell no. Because you don't know. Right. You think you got something, you hooked on to some random a charcoal bag with charcoal still in there. Like, what the fuck? Everything is polluted, it's done. You got it, Doc.
Done. This is just in the Edom Online, and this is just to the word conduce. It says to lead, to conduct, and this straight to the point in the intransitive sense of aid in or contribute toward a result. So this is how the brother was saying, this way of life here doesn't aid in life. This way of life here doesn't lead to life. It leads you to death. So it's not conducive to life.
The scriptures, Psalms, the 23rd chapter tells you this is the valley of the shadow of death. Okay?
Yeah, it's not beneficial, man. And that's the beauty of coming into the understanding of the law. You see how then now you have a respect for the law. And as brother was going into the law earlier, once you really come into the real understanding of Yahushua, not the Jesus character, when you follow Yahushua and fear Yahushua, it's gonna make you want to keep the law more. You gonna want to be more on point. You gonna want to not just say, well, I ain't gotta do it because he didn't know. You gonna want to do that. Especially if you know a judgment coming. Fear.
Right.
Fear. Let's what you got? Hold on real quick. Let's which is 1 and 2.
This way, like.
Okay, Con, you got it.
This is Baruch chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and the law that endureth forever. All they that keep it shall come to life, but such as leave it shall die. So this book, the following Yahushai, that's how the brother was saying, conducive to life. If you leave this, hey, this is the way of death, and this is, like the brother said, this is the land of darkness. This way here is the way of death. The scriptures is the way of life.
Yeah, we're in the valley of the shadow of death.
That's it. You got it.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 10. It says, he pleased the Most High and was beloved of him.
Now this is going into Enoch. But again, Enoch, we live in the story of Enoch. Because who was also in the world at the time? That was still that was the pre-diluvian era. You know what pre-diluvian mean, Enoch? Pre-flood. You know, it's just a fancy way of saying pre-flood era, you know? But it sound cool.
Yeah.
But that was the pre-diluvian era, and Enoch was prophesying in that time. So guess who was still around? The sons of Cain. They were still in the world doing wickedness. You know? You had the same thing going on, but Enoch was speaking against against wickedness. You know, speaking against niggas at that time, the sons of God who was going off. But the Lord, as we go see, the same story he lived, the Lord had to take him up out of there so he won't get infected with what those other people was doing. You know, it was so it ain't get too close to his servant. And that's how the same thing will be how it is now. Well, and he said, go shorten the time for the elect sake. Right? You see, but all things about to change, man. Look how bad it is now. But you got it out. Start that again.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 10. It said, he pleased the Most High and was beloved of him.
Hey, beloved the house of David. You got it.
So that living among sinners, he was translated.
Now again, it's talking about Enoch. And the Lord beamed him up. So we hoping to do the same thing, what? Be beamed up from amongst these people on earth. You got it, bro.
Verse 11. Yes, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness.
Unless, so he had to, can you get Matthew 24 out? Whoever can get it first. Baba Kashab. It said he had to speedily be taken away unless that what was going on in the earth corrupted him, man. And I was going back, and it's going to read a little more, but going back to what the other times of power was just saying. Look at what's going on. Look at what's happening. Bro, imagine us raising up our children in the next generation. What if we know time will get cut short, like the Lord will be back before that, but what if we happen to not be here, our generation gone, we all pass away, and come on, bro, imagine that. And George Soros and them children and Elon Musk and them children ruling the world.
And the scriptures go into that because in the book of Judges, they had a righteous generation, and the ones that came after that, they didn't know the Lord, and they went off, going off again, they going into captivity, and then it would just keep repeating. Okay. And that's where we are today. It's like
it's not so like you.
Yeah, and looking at today, came across an article talking about Houston. You know, is prominent for the highest levels of fucking STDs, man. Imagine our children living up and being adults in a fucking society like this. It's crazy. Don't know if a woman is a real woman. You gotta pursue a woman that got children already and shit, bro. It's fucked up.
And it's leading to the lab-grown children. So it's like, oh, I got kids. They growing in it.
Yeah, so imagine that in AI. Imagine a world like that. It's got to be put to an end. Can you read that one more time about Enoch, and we'll hit that, Matthew? Just to show the same thing got to happen. We're going to have to be quickly taken away from here, man. You got it. All right.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 10. It says, he pleased the Most High and was beloved of him, so that living among sinners he was translated.
He was translated. You got it. All
right. This is Matthew 24 and verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
And except those days shall be shortened. The days of what? Tribulate. What did it say before that?
Matthew 24 and verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation.
For then shall be great tribulation, and especially here in America.
Such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time. No, nor ever shall be.
Right.
And except those days should be shortened.
Speedily, unless the Lord speedily cut the time short. Again, that's how bad it's going to get. Now imagine if the Lord didn't cut the time short and this went on. But you'll probably have drag queens as the next president of America. You know? Like, how would this go on? Everybody would have to have an MOTB. Because according to prophecy, that's where it's going. Like Esau, the Lord ain't just going to let Esau go on like this. The food, imagine what the food going to be. They're already telling you, you eating people on the KFC commercial. She walked out there with the person in the, just like this. Yeah. She had a person, so like I don't know water. She walked out there with a person in her arms, went in some gravy, and came back out as a piece of chicken. Yeah. They telling you y'all eating people, man. That's why I gotta be cut short.
They finding teeth in McDonald's. One woman found something in the McNuggets that she bought for her children, and then somebody just found some teeth in Egg McMuffin. In the bun, I think. So,
Yeah, I got it.
yeah, what old Finkelstein said, he wasn't lying. They put the sacrifice in the food supply.
Matthew 24 and verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
See, the Lord got to shorten the time, just like he had to hurry and get Enoch out of there. Why? And it's gonna go more into why he had to get Enoch up out of there. Just like Lot. Once he was let Sodom and Gomorrah do what they do for a point in time, but once they started beating on Lot door, you getting too close now. Right. Hey, what it say in Psalms? Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Once it get a little too close to the Lord's service, that's when he gotta, have that divine intervention, step in with that divine intervention. It also said that in Isaiah 59. How he go lift the standard, it's gotta be with we know the main thing when Esau come in, but that's in anything the Lord's servants go through, man. The Lord go step in. But let's read that.
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 11. It says, yes, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding.
See, so look, go start changing, it's what he believe. Not to say that's going to happen. Well, in Matthew 24, Yahweh said, if it was possible, it'll deceive the very elect. So what if it continue to go on just for, his children would be deceived. Our children probably ain't believing like us. Think about it. Now, we know the Lord can put the spirit on, but think about if this went on. So the Lord had to take him away. You got it.
It says, yes, speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding or deceit beguile his soul.
You got it.
For the bewitching
or he trip up and break the law and do something crazy one night. Or he out there chilling and like going into, how we just thought at a point in time you have to ask a woman you got a man or look at the ring. No, the brother said you don't know if it's a man or a woman, so it's best to just, and now they got flesh eating STDs. The brother Zachariah posted a woman, she got a BBL, had maggots coming out the BBL. And this BBL generation, if this continue years down the line, man, it's gonna be a settlement, lawsuits. Right. You know how it is now when people find out about shit like the pads, people trying to sue the people now. Non-stick pads. Teflon, people suing over what's the bug spray? Roundup after they find out about certain things, right? Like other times the pot said, what would you say it again? This is a live.
Oh, you talking about a case study?
A case study. So if this go on, what the people gonna be like who was minds on straight phones all day and eating this fast food all day and BBLs and this new school system, what that's gonna be like? That's why we gotta get out of here.
Right.
If this generation, the YNs beat grown ends, what's that gonna be like? You got it, bro.
This is Wisdom of Solomon.
Days of Noah.
In verse 12, it says, For the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest,
See? Yep, you got it.
and the wandering of concupiscence does undermine the simple mind.
The wondering, you getting to thinking about, like Eleazar, he started thinking, wondering, again, being in this world, it altered his mind.
Right.
He was here too long. Ultimately, the Lord ain't, really had a spirit on him like that. And at the end of the day, if a person not elect, you're going to fade away eventually. You're going to fade away. And that's the fear that we should have towards the Lord, that not knowing, man. But can you read that again? Like, listen.
It says, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 12. It says, for the bewitching of naughtiness
Well,
doth
go right quick. Go to 2 Corinthians 2. I guess around 6. Read that again,
This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4 and verse 12. It says, for the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind.
Now, I know you had a point, but that's what I was speaking about. Like, football being held in high esteem, people don't see the filth of it because they've been immersed in it so long. It's just like Dick Gregory used to give an example about, the paper mill. He said it got a smell that's horrible. But he say the people that work there, they've been around it so long, they, used to it, they don't notice the smell. But you go in there for the first time, you're gonna know it. But that's Babylon. See, the Most High had to bring us out. That's why he told Abraham, get away from your people, Well, we had to be brought out because you can't see the forest for the trees, as they say. You got to come out of the forest to see the trees. As long as you're in the forest, yeah. Well, we couldn't see the filth of Babylon as long as we was immersed in it. As the brother read, come out of her, my people. Once you come out of her, you can see all of the shit. And you be like, damn, but that's the bewitching, which obscures the, the naughtiness. I think that's how it was worded. But who got the 2 Thessalonians? Because the Lord spoke about that too. What Paul did.
What you looking for?
The 2 Thessalonians 2. Maybe 6, 7 verses.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 7. It says, for the mystery of iniquity.
Okay, go down to around 9.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders.
And him is Esau Edom, the so-called white man. His coming is after the power of Satan, and he's here to bring in Satan's devices. That's why the scripture tells us not to be ignorant of this man's devices, because he's bringing the devices of Satan to get you caught up. That's what the mark is all about. This is the beast mark, and the beast is under Satan's control. But go ahead,
Verse 10, with all deceivableness
there it is. With all deceivableness, what?
Of unrighteousness in them that perish.
Now go back to where you were. With all deceivableness of unrighteousness, that bewitching of naughtiness, which is unrighteousness, which obscures wickedness. One more time, No, wait, go back. Yeah.
Wisdom of Solomon?
Right.
This is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 4 and verse 12. It says, for the bewitching of naughtiness doth obscure things that are honest, and the wandering of concupiscence.
Okay, it obscures things that are honest. So you become a reprobate. You can't judge right. Go ahead.
And the wandering of concupiscence doth undermine the simple mind.
And that's what's in the world, concupiscence. Alizé, goddamn, saying they probably didn't do nothing.
They say they're wondering, they be wondering about stuff, been around people at Diddy parties, seeing it.
All the Diddy shit.
It's like, y'all won't cut you off by the time you got it. I watching a video today, a woman got arrested. You can probably look it up, it's like 1 million views in a day. She got caught because she was having sex with the family dog. Yeah, the family dog, and this is her statement. She said, well, something just hit me one day to say, look up. She said, I always was fascinated with our horse private parts. So it took me one step, I started eventually looking up horse having sex with horses, horse having sex with people. Then she said, well, I was like, well, the closest thing I got is I found a German Shepherd. And then what made it worse, her husband got into it and he started recording it.
That's Esau?
Esau, you know it's Esau. Oh, and then as they're looking at his phone, they found child stuff on there.
It's freaks. And all people that have been adopted the psychosis, you know, they've taken it on. And they become reprobates and not able to judge. So they become moles, bowls, just all that bug outs, you know, even within Israel. Now the shit is in Israel. You see suspect men in Israel. All right? Men secretly, you know, pagan. It's a lot of weirdness. But it's in Babylon, bro. But yeah, you can finish that, and you were through in Wisdom of Solomon.
He had an GNT real quick.
The Wisdom of Solomon?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the GNT. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 4, and I'm going to start at verse 10 in the GNT. It says, once there was a man named Enoch who pleased the Most High, and the Most High loved him. While Enoch was still living among sinners, the Most High took him away, so that evil and falsehood could not corrupt his mind and soul. Verse 12, back to what you were bringing out. It says, we all know that people can be so fascinated by evil.
See, fascinated. Because they think it's cool. See what not knowing the law, where that gets you? Because what tell us that's not cool, the law. Right. The law of the Lord. That's what tell us it's not cool. Right. You got it.
We all know that people can be so fascinated by evil that they cannot recognize.
Hey, what Elazar said, well, you know, it's a little fantasy. A little fantasy in it. It's text message. No, you did that shit, bro. It led you to doing that. You committed the act. And my question is, if you didn't, what would drive you to have to get therapy, bro? Not just sending text messages. What would drive you to have to get therapy? You did that. It was messing with you. You got it.
Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 12 in the GNT. We all know that people can be so fascinated by evil that they cannot recognize what is good, even when they are looking right at it.
Woo! Come on, man.
Right.
Not knowing you're in captivity again. And even going into the Wisdom of Solomon, that's what sparked it, what you made that point about the football. You thinking that's just tradition, how things go, not knowing, no, that's not cool.
Yeah.
And you know, for example, Jokic, the Joker who played for Denver, the big white boy, the Serbian, I believe you're Jake. But, you know, they ain't grow up how niggas in America grew up. So they're in the middle of the game, and Gary Payton, son, he was just, you know, like kind of good game. See, he turned around, charged out, like, bro, don't touch my ass and shit like that. And Steph Curry had to be like, hey, you know, that's kind of, he like, no, I don't play that shit. But see, in other worlds, yeah, that's a joke. You know, Esau probably would have turned and went and shit. Yeah. You know? But yeah, you got it, bro. That's why we got to get up out of here, man.
It says, I'll start at the top again. We all know that people can be so fascinated by evil that they cannot recognize what is good even when they are looking right at it. Innocent people can be so corrupt with desire that they can think of nothing but what they want.
Nothing but you can speak on it.
Yeah, basically being given over into your lust or your pleasures or your desires. You know, like it tells you in the book of Sirach, it tells you, the 18th chapter, don't give yourself over to your lust and your desires because you'll become a laughing stock. Roughly paraphrasing. But it says, you know, basically being in this pollution, it has the effect of, what's the best word to use? It has an effect to pull you into that shit too.
I got it.
You got it.
This is Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth him. So, the Israelites are the best. And we have a direct connection with Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai through Yahushai, but through the world, through this wickedness, all this stuff that you see, the pleasing of the flesh, all this stuff, it's very seducing. That's how you see with Jake today. And even that it's the same thing in the ancient times with the Midianites women. All that it's powerful.
Yeah, you look at the movies Jake like to watch. It's niggas selling drugs and killing one another. Hood movies and shit where we kill each other. You know that's alluring to our people. But they go back to 2 Thessalonians, right?
We had a little black dude the other day, little Jake dude, probably like 9 years old.
I want to be like King Von.
Yeah, he was like, man, who your idol? No, he was like, man, what you doing? He was like, man, I'm just out here trying to be like my idol. They're like, who your idol? He like King Von?
Right. Our people, because Esau glamorizes.
Yeah.
And so our people, they think that's the life. Go ahead,
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
And that's what it's all about. And y'all had spoke earlier about death. Basically, if you don't have this word, you're going to die. And that backs it up. But you got it.
So that's it. And we telling our people, look, this is not real. Nothing that you see is real. And as much as they think we crazy, we blind, no. As long as you keep following Esau, you could be led off a cliff. Can you read that again? It says because they didn't want to receive the truth. What's the truth? What we saying? Because only the elect, that's what we care about, you know, but because they don't want to believe that we tell them, look, the economy about to crash. The dollar about to be worth nothing, which is not really worth nothing now. You know, eventually everybody gonna have to get under the CBDC and get an RFID microchip, man. But see, people don't want to believe that. They'll look at the other side and like, well, it's making blind people see, right? It's making handicapped people walk. Man, I could open my car with my hand. The cool shit. You got it, Doc.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. And with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish.
Well, you got to think about how, I'm Salaki, but you know, Esau's job was to go out and deceive the world. You don't think his last effort to keep his kingdom, you don't think this is going to be the most deception he about to ever bring on the earth? You don't think he about to just even when you playing sports, when you need to score or need something, you start deceiving. You do trick plays. Yeah. Ready, down, set, coach. It's the wrong ball. You run to the sideline, just take off. You come out with all the former Brewski. You come out with all the deception to hurry up and score. Esau really about to show what he got. He about to let it all hang out, man. That's why, again, the Lord gonna have to put a stop to it. And that's the time. Can the brother get 2 Ezra 15? And can we start in GNT? You got it?
Oh, I got it. I got it.
KJV? That's cool too. You can get it.
This is started at 10.
Kyle, you can start at 10. Matter of fact, can we read that again?
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish.
In them that perish, why?
Because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
They won't believe it. You got it.
And for this cause, the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie.
And that's when they go get caught up in it. Just like what it said about why you had to take Enoch. If you started and you keep going, now you go in the spider's web. You caught. Now that's just your lifestyle. That's what you do. So on and so forth. Now you love the world, or you want to rap, and you just doing something, and now you went viral, and now you got fans, and now Interscope just offered you a deal. You can't stop now. You can't stop. If you keep going, you gotta keep going. You went to the party, and that's the thing, how they get people. Just like you go on a college visit, it's called an official visit. They lay out the red carpet, and niggas think that's everyday life. No, even I'll tell you how far they go to deception. Even women on the campus, they already have it set up. You think you going to a random restaurant, a random, no, hey, that's how it is here, bro. You might as well come here. Like, you feel me? Yeah, that's how it's some bullshit. Now you caught up in it. Now you think that's the life. You got it, bro.
2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 12.
And that's why a lot of celebrities, man, sign up for this, man. Because you fell for the official visit. You got it.
This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 12. That they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
That's it, man. But you love what you loved it. You loved the new AI shit. You was cool with it. You was all right with the CBDC. You okay with the way Esau doing things at 15 minutes in. Well, it's gonna be convenient. We ain't gonna have to work. I'll stay home all day. Cause bro, Esau did it so cold. Man, I was thinking about this the other day. You know, out of nowhere, think about the money that people been making off the internet. I'm talking about podcasting. I'm talking about streaming. Being Insta famous, whatever. Think about this money that they've been getting. I was like, Esau gonna crash all that. A lot of people have Bitcoin. Esau gonna crash that shit, cut that shit. All the millions and the child stars and the podcasters, they gonna be begging for money. And guess what's gonna be the new thing? You can get it. It's on the internet still. You can still do your podcast, but it's digital now. It's gonna change. See, Esau been letting these people get all this money just streaming. Oh, you post one picture, like I think like Kylie Jenner or somebody. I seen she post one picture on Instagram, she could get like 500, 200 million some dollars. Just advertising. But you fell in love with it because of the money, the lifestyle, not knowing you've been led to a burning pit the whole time. The whole time, but you can get that out because now the Lord is too far. It went too far with it. It's doing too much in earth.
That go back to the Shannon thing because the chick was OnlyFans and she was making bread, and so this is gonna cause problems, and that's probably pushing a lot of that lawsuit because the money is drying up. That's a good point. The money is drying up. And these bitches used to that easy money from these simps, shit, they'll take you to court. And you don't want to give it, they'll set you up and take you to court. It's treacherous out here. Babylon is treacherous. It said perilous time. When a man can't get pussy, it's perilous time. Or you can either die or lose your whole life's work. Well, if you die, you lose your whole life's work anyway, but yeah, that's your options now. Ain't no falling in love or a woman falling in love with you. It's treachery out here. Y'all got it?
Today I heard something about the student loans. They said they're gonna start.
A lot of motherfuckers up.
Or garnish your wages.
I know a student loan. I wish the motherfucker would. Think they gonna come around here with that bullshit.
They sent all that money over to Ukraine and all that stuff. Those people gonna be angry. Hey,
well, not that, but I ain't paid I ain't got a tax return in 30 years behind that, so I don't know that shit. They ain't got that plus some. But you know what they do? They hold the principal. So every time there's going on interest, fuck them, man. Fuck these.
They could have easily took that money and paid that off. Been paid that off. Whatever they take it from your tax, they could have been. See, that's why the law had enough of what's going on. We got to get out of here, man. The deception went too far. It's way too far, and that's why the law got to put in. Let's get that out. Let's get that, bro. Even another thing, the NIL shit. Out of nowhere, Esau just started giving niggas money, college football. You can make money. Why? Think about that. Why? For what?
Right.
And millions. And then the transport party, they get, yeah, bro. You see, Esau here a wise serpent, a cunning hunter. He ain't just talking about him going hunt. Esau hunt you by setting you up, man. Think about a hunter. Before you just go out in the wild and try to shoot a deer. You don't just go out there stepping on shit. No, you get your camera or whatever. Esau or duck. You got the duck calls. You got to deceive him first before you go in for the kill. That's what he doing. That's gradualism, man. You got it, all right?
This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 10 in the GNT. My people are being.
No. Let's start at what you was gonna get. Can you start at we can read that too. Can you start at 1? Let's read because it says wickedness have reached its limit.
Yeah, it's like this is 2nd Esdras chapter 15 and verse 1 in the GNT. The Lord says, proclaim to my people the prophetic messages that I will give you. and then have them written down because they are true and will be fulfilled.
Right.
Do not be afraid of those who plot against you or be disturbed by their unbelief.
Right.
All unbelievers will die because of their unbelief.
And that's also what we said. That's what 2 Thessalonians just said. Apostle Paul. Because they didn't want to believe in what we talking about, they gonna die and being deceived. Bro, especially that MOTB. Bro, Bishop Nate, I'm telling that time, these congregations, when it really be mandated, they ain't gonna really know what it is. Look how many times they change their doctrine. One probably gonna get in there, he gonna think, well, I can get this because my children crying, I can see my newborn ribs, and my teacher told me that it was sin.
They're gonna be confused.
My teacher said it was sin, so if I get this, I ain't going off, right? Oh, well, it's an embargo. So if I get this, I ain't going off, right? See, that's how they gonna think in that time. They ain't gonna have it. But with the Lord have allowed us to be trained and sure about what these things talking about, man. You got it. Like, so when the deception comes, we gonna know, that's some bullshit. That's some smoke screen. You got it, bro.
2 Esdras chapter 15 and verse 5 in the GNT. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai says, I am going to bring terrible disasters on the whole world. War and famine, death and destruction.
And this the reason why. You got it.
Because wickedness has spread everywhere and evil has reached its limit.
That's it. Deception, wickedness spread everywhere throughout the whole world. And it's reached its limit. And when a certain empire reaches limit on deception, wickedness, in the scriptures they'll say that the wickedness came up into the Most High.
The sins have reached heaven. Revelation
That's
18
it,
chapter. Yep, Revelation 18 tells you their sins has reached heaven. That's why that judgment is going to come. That was it.
Meaning what? You fulfilled your limit now.
Yep.
It's done. Meaning now it's time for the Lord to go to the next step. So we at that next step.
Right.
I mean, what else deception can be had? And especially like you got the woke, people. I ain't talking about you woke niggas out there. I'm talking about like the people who go into who videos will show on a Thursday Lives with the articles. The people who know what's going on, who update on what Esau really doing in the world. How could you stop all that now? It's out. The truth is out. You can't stop that. How could you just stop Israelites from believing them? It's out there.
If I could add something too that Esau put so much time and effort into is that chat GPT, that AI shit, it's coming against them. It's revealing more to us quickly. It's against them. More people, man, you saw what he says about Esau. All of these things are against them. So it's showing you, bro, this shit is at its end. It ain't no more, rising up and prospering. It's at a fucking end, man.
Yeah. It will get better if you want to hold Jeremiah 51. Matter of fact,
AI showing black images and all of that.
Yeah, you would just type in other times upon, show me an image of the ancient Israelites in Jerusalem. And they'll show all Negroes. Yep. Or something like that. Or show me the Lord coming back. It give you pictures on what is more like the truth's sake instead of the image of Esau. The deception winning, man.
You say your house shot on there, and they'll put a picture of the black fence.
Oh,
Your
okay.
house shot, it'll come up as a black fence.
Okay, on Google,
The more you do that, it come up as you put your house shot. It comes up like that, but you say Jesus, it comes up white, but if you your house shot, you can see it.
Oh. 51 no, 5 and 6. 6 and 7.
Now this is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 6. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense.
It's the time the Lord about to start judging, man. Now, only at that time the Lord about to cut off life as people once knew it. Especially for you, I can't wait. That was in one of my prayers this morning, or part of my prayer this morning. The Lord to humble these people, start judging these people, man. It's too much pride, bro. Like, everybody got an opinion. People who shouldn't have an opinion just so proud. In traffic, people just doing anything they want, bro. I'm talking about niggas all the way to the least heathen. There needs to be some type of judgment that needs to happen there, man. Which we know our power gonna do it, but we feel the same way. This is the part of signing crime. Having to be here before the judgment comes. Being around it. But eventually the Lord said He gonna judge this place, and it ain't gonna be no healing for it. And that's the reason we getting this right here real quick. Well, not that one, but that Jeremiah 51. Because it's at its limit. You can't bring it back. You can't make it great again. That was a part of prophecy. You gonna try, but the Lord said it ain't gonna happen. You got it.
Verse 7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand.
Elder Tazapah, what you said last time, have been. On your video, have been. It's a has been. You retired. Well, you about to retire. You know how Kobe did a little farewell tour. Yeah, you on your way out. And now you go into every arena, everybody booing you. You see, you're on your farewell to everybody. You about to retire, everybody booing you, man. You lost your spark at the end. You know how you doing the celebrities now, like Bill Cosby at the end when you supposed to chill and just, enjoy his legacy. And then it was all just tarnished. That's America. You see? But then the spirit of making it better, it ain't gonna be better. You got it out. Hey, what it say? If whoever can find it quick, the time of we ain't gotta get it. But the time of the Gentiles being fulfilled. Esau was the end of it, man. You got it.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 7. It says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad.
Yeah, so that cup is the cup of, well, the golden cup represents the glory that this place once had, this place America, all right? But the glory is gone. That's why, again, it says Babylon hath been a golden cup that made all the earth drunken, So the cup ain't golden as it once was. It's tarnished, filthy, nasty, disgusting. Look at, you read Isaiah 24, talking about the pot whose scum is therein. That's America, Babylon. Yeah, you got to go.
You got it.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed.
Okay, no, you got it. No, use on the right spot.
This is Jeremiah 51 and verse 8. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed.
And that's that spirit of MAGA right now. Let's make it great. Even Joe Biden, build back better. And these Americans think it's gonna get better. But no, the Lord, even the Lord was on point. You was gonna be in that spirit at the end. But it ain't gonna get better, man, because it's done now. Is it?
They put that out there to give these Mark Main's hope. That's to give them hope. And so, while they crash and everything, they still got that hope. Some people still believe that things gonna turn around. But see,
that's like when they said the golden age. Americans thought, oh yeah, we going back. But that was the Trump and them telling the elites, it's the time that we take this we transcend now. Because America was the last piece on the puzzle. So now the nations can come together and begin this digital system. They needed Trump in there, man. He the perfect person. But that was a message to the elites. Now we can begin. Why do you think Elon Musk was so excited when he spoke that night? He said, yeah, we're about to go to the next level. Yeah, all that shit. That's what he felt. You see? But you got it. You got it, bro.
Jeremiah chapter 51.
Who was that baby? Dole? Was that Bob Dole?
I remember that.
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah. You got it, Zach.
It's Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 9. It says, we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed.
She is not healed.
Forsake her and let us go everyone into his own country, for her judgment reacheth unto heaven.
See, reaches unto heaven. She had his limit.
And is lifted up even to the skies.
It's done. So and that's why we have comfort, because we know this shit over with. Right. And even that, like going into work, that's why I try to put my mind, because we don't want getting up and you got to go slave away. We at our jobs and co-workers more than we with our wives and children. Think about that. And we doing jobs and investing in time at shit we don't care about.
Right, and if your children in school, they with strangers more than they with you. You know? And that's real strange.
Right.
You know, now, when I was growing up, we had, you know, we knew some of the teachers because they, you know, we had a small town. So, yeah, my grandmama and my mama and them knew some of the teachers. But, yeah, now they got queens and that, and all this weirdness. And all, going back to what y'all was saying, they immersed in it. If they in the public school system. Even Esau saying, take your children out of school. You know? That's Esau. That woman ain't gonna do it.
And they send them to private school.
Well, some of them homeschooling too, though.
Homeschooling,
Right. But y'all got
Hey, so, you know, I know a couple of brothers, we homeschool our children. Now, this was like a year or two ago. So before you start the semester or whatever, you got to go click on, I guess, what you want to, social studies and math and science, which your curriculum. And you got to go click the box. But at the bottom, one box, I don't remember exactly what was the category, but one box was already clicked. And it was pretty much like gender equality or some shit like that. Already, I took my oldest one, 10, you know, gender, but that was, why that one was already clicked.
Yeah, and that, what I was explaining Sunday, Obama, he made it so that schools don't get federal funding if they don't push this rainbow agenda. And so since they want that money, that's automatic. So yeah, that box gonna be checked every time. They want that federal money. You know? That's why the feds should be out of education. It should be left to the state. And then each individual city or school district. And that's when you get better results. But anything the Fed touch is fucked. But y'all got it.
That was it on that. Yeah, let's get that second Ezra 6. And this is going to prove that we're at the end of Esau world. Because what was one of the main signs? This truth been out, man. This truth been on the forefront. And then everything else going to follow a decay society. Because you know what? It ain't just that we out calling Esau the white man, telling our people we Israelites. With this truth coming out now, even that, people started wearing stones and getting into Palo Santo and health, you know, healthy. You see a healthier lifestyle that's been out there, so on and so forth. You know, even the red pill thing. I know the other times of pocket speak on it better, but I know when I came in, you had a lot of those old videos. Niggas wasn't even doing this yet. It wasn't podcasts yet. Podcasts, yeah, you had them, but podcasts blew up doing that CV19 when they was sitting there at home. You had the apostles pretty much already doing podcasts, sitting on the sofa with the background of blue, the end of the world, telling niggas about women. Right. Don't send for these hoes, man. Yep. But you see, that spirit came in the earth as well. Right. So just that energy, that energy of truth, you know, that manliness, it ain't just got to be as far as the white man, the devil, we the Israelites, Deuteronomy 28:68. It's energies that's going out there with it. You know? Hey, yeah, but let's get that.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6. And I'm going to start at verse 7. It says, Then answered I and said, What shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, From Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. Verse 9, For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
So that's to tell us how all this go in. The so-called white man gonna be ruling at the end of the world, and it says once he fall, the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we gonna rule after. Now one would say, well, how that's gonna happen? We don't have an army. We don't have nobody sitting in the seat for us at the UN meetings. Well, how did the Israelites come out of captivity in Egypt? Divine intervention. That's the whole point of the man the world ignorantly called Jesus. He come and save his people from captivity.
Right.
That's the point. See, people don't look at the Lord like that. They just say, I'm saved by Jesus, in the blood of Jesus, and I'm baptized, and I'm saved. Now in their mind, because of the, see, they take the Lord's mercy and twist it. Well, now I believe in so-called Jesus, I can do what I want because I'm saved, so when I die, I'm going to go to heaven. No, the Lord coming to you. And when he coming, it's going to be destruction. Really, everybody go meet their maker. You ain't gotta die. He coming to you, man. The Lord coming to earth.
Right.
And those who serve him, believe in him, the true Lord, Yahweh Shai, he gonna beam you up out of here, the Israelites. That's how it's gonna happen, man. But the point is, Esau the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that follow. Now it's about to go into some signs on how we know we at the end of Esau world. Can you go to Yep.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6 in verse 18. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh.
Who is this talking? It's the Lord. He the one gonna be sent back, right? You got it.
And to visit them that dwell upon the earth.
Right, he coming to meet. The people go meet their maker. You got it.
And I will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness. And when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled.
That's second Ezra 6, right? When will the affliction of Zion be fulfilled? Lamentations 4. Can everybody get that real quick? Lamentations 4:21. When will the affliction of Zion be fulfilled? Their last captivity will be under Esau. Now, who is Esau today? Esau is the biblical nation of what we would know today as the so-called white man, woman, and child, or the Caucasians. Just like our biblical nationality are the Israelites, but today we known as Negroes, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans, so on and so forth. You got it, Doc. Let's get there. Just to show Esau, this is our last captivity. You got it.
This is Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz.
And it's talking about all Esau in the whole, but the main Edomites the Lord focus on right now are American Edomites. Yeah, the Lord gonna deal with the Russian Edomites, the European Edomites when, you know, he gonna deal with them too. But the main destruction coming over here to the Edomites in the hub, the main hub of Esau rulership, America. This the modern Basel, the modern day land of Uz. You got it, huh?
The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
The cup gonna pass to you. What's the cup? The judgment of the Lord. What we've been through as a people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We had to drink the cup of the Lord, which is what? Slavery. You know, being called a proverb, a byword. You know, being at the bottom, which we the chosen people, but we're at the bottom. But look at our people in the ghettos. That's the cup of the Lord. But now the Lord said to the nation of Edom, you go drink the cup. The heathens go drink the cup. You got it.
Right. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked.
You got it.
The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
The Lord said the punishment of our iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. What's the context? As the Lord telling us we done with captivity, he telling the nation of Edom, you about to start captivity. So as we know the so-called white man roar is falling, what that mean for us? We about to rule. Look at the times. We about to rule.
Yeah, it's a changing of the guard. As like it spoke about the house of Saul concerning the house of David. King Saul's house was I forget how it was worded, but
weaker. It says Saul waxed weak, and David waxed strong.
And his kingdom waxed strong. And the Lord is right now raising up that tabernacle of David that had fallen. And as he's raising us up, Esau got to fall down, you know, and he's losing power, he's gaining power. But yeah, bro, right.
Lamentations chapter 4 verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
Oh, another thing, we don't have to fit his goddamn devil. Nope. His whatever the fuck his drones, 5G, he ain't got his supersonic, whatever the fuck he got. With that Skylord, all the weapons he got, we ain't got to feel none of that. That's for the wicked. Yeah. That's what Romans 13 tells us. All of that shit, this weapon system, these 5G towers, that's for the wicked. That ain't, it don't have no power over us unless you fall into fear. Now we know some of us are gonna be martyred, but still stand in your power if you gonna be martyred. It don't fit his goddamn devil.
Right.
We ain't got nothing to fear. Stand in his face and tell him, fuck you.
That's right.
That's how you tell him, fuck you. But the scriptures say, the Most High gonna give you what you gonna say when you in them devil's face. Don't even worry about it. He gonna tell you what to say. But we ain't got to fear. This man ain't got nothing that we need to be worried about. And that we got the Most High. We got Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai? Can't nothing fuck with us. But yeah, bro.
Now, and in knowing Yahweh Bashim Shai, you already conquered the world. Not saying we already made it, right? But just like Apostle John said in 1 John, he said you have overcome the wicked one. He was speaking in past tense.
Right.
Because once you believe in the Lord, you now again, we might die, we might not want to feel the pain. Remember, Yahweh Shai, he didn't want to feel it, you know? We're in the flesh. But we shouldn't fear what's gonna happen after. We should know it. We about to go see the one who we just been talking to every day, serving every day. We shouldn't fear Esau, Yahweh Shai. Pilate tried to threaten him with death. Don't you know I got the power to crucify you or let you go? You know what's so cool about that? He actually did on earth. It seemed like it though, right? But Yahweh Shai said, you have no power at all against me except it was given you from above. See, we get past this world, what we see. We know the Lord in control. Like, we get it. The 7 brothers and Maccabees, even if we died, okay, so what? So the Israelites not going to rule after? Right. So just because we died, prophecy goes, no. Just because you kill a couple of us, prophecy going to stop. No. We still going to rule, man. That's why we shouldn't worry. Okay, oh, you cut our head off. But you know the Lord going to have brothers so bold in these last days when they got to get brought in front of them kings and rulers. Look at our forefathers in the ancient world, how bold they were. There's a time like never before. Come on, man. Y'all brothers.
Man, just quick. Because the victory has already been written. It's already written that we already possess it, like the brothers started off with. The saints shall take the kingdom.
Y'all just read it. Babylon is falling.
Right.
It's here, I'm in it.
Right.
But you gotta believe.
Right.
That was a prophecy. Babylon is in some dimension somewhere it had already failed. You know, in high planes of existence has been already, you know, we in lower, this third density, low vibration shit, we the last to get and see shit. But what the Most High at? We done already, yeah, we done won. We gotta play the script out, right?
You know how it kind of is real quick? You know how like the director and producer before movies, they'll see it a couple times or whatever, but then everybody will be there for the premiere to see the full thing out. Right. You know, and even they might see that themselves to kind of watch the full thing, like, you know, but that's how the Lord is. It's already played out. He's seen the full thing, but now as it is, he kind of redoing it again. As on earth times now. But you still done with yours? No, that's what I have. Yeah.
This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 34 and verse 13 in the GNT. It says, those who fear the Lord will live because they have put their trust in the one who can save them. Fear the Lord and you will have nothing else to fear. If your trust is in him, you will never have to act like a coward. And we stand on these scriptures. We stand on these scriptures, and hey, Lord willing, he keeps that spirit in us. Because we understand that there's something called resurrection. Just like Yahweh Shai rose from the dead and he got the victory over death, same with the nation of Israel. But those that put their trust in the Lord, if we die, we know the prophecies say we're going to be in the heavens. You know, basically, how does it say it in Book of Revelations and in 2nd Ezra? Those that were killed already? Yeah. Basically, those that had to die. Yeah, that's a precept. Yeah. Yeah, so it tells you that's not the end all be all. That's it. If we fear the Lord, we got nothing to worry about because he's going to be the one to save us. Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter. If we fall, you know, death comes our way, the Lord tells us our souls are with him. So at the end of the day, there's really nothing to fear when it comes to death because that's just the transition to get everlasting life. You know?
And according to the scriptures, Apostle Paul, because he's seen it. He's seen it. He was like, I'd rather beat out. So Esau, even if Esau come down and kill us, you doing us a favor. You taking us away from this bullshit. And even that, the only reason we really want to stay here, first and foremost, to do the work. And, you know, brothers may have families. We don't want to just leave. We want to make sure we do the work for them so they can be spared. Yeah, we got wild children. But if we were just solo, and we had the choice, I'm sure brothers would want to get the fuck up out of here, man. So he going to be threatening us with what he threatening the people of the world with. Food and shit like that. Come on, man. We way past that. Man. Oh, you got yours now.
This is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 25. It says, the fear of man bringeth a snare, But whoso putteth his trust in the Lord shall be saved. And that's just backing up exactly what the brothers were just saying. You know, if you fearing Esau, that's a snare. That's a snare unto you. But if you trust in the Lord, you're going to be saved. Simple.
And I like to think about our forefathers, man. Like, I know brothers understand this, but if not, I hope brothers, understand this. When our forefathers was living, like, nobody was just following Abraham around, just writing everything. You feel me? Like he was just doing. I'm sure they had scribes and all that, but I'm talking about in detail how we have it. But even Job. Remember, Job was fussing with his friends. He was like, man, I wish my words was recorded in the book. Who's around just chapter 3? Nobody. But it's what their life was written down right for us to have. Bro, decisions we make, things that we, are bold in, it's gonna be written about us, how we was living right now in this life in the kingdom. I like to think Kingdom Brother get 1 Maccabees 2:50. How you want to be remembered? Remember, and then after this, you can't change it. You can't change it no more. Once the kingdom comes, that's what a man, he gonna be known for, remembered for forever, man. You can't change that. Now is the time to do what we gotta do. The point I'm bringing it up, when the hour of temptation comes, think about how our forefathers will respond. Romans 15:4. The things that was written aforetime. We won't get down like, now you know for getting, you were scared of the so-called, think about it. You were scared of the so-called white man. So in the kingdom, when you see Esau for what he is this the man?
Yep.
You gonna think like, bro, I was scared of him? No, think about that now. So when you come, you be like, bro, you already lost. Esau, like, you out of there. Even like the brother Maccabees walked out with his shit ready.
If I could add, that's like thinking from the sense of like how the Lord looks at us. The Lord tells us, no, we ought to fear him and not Esau. That's like us with our sons. Now pick fishing or something. Pick up the fish. It ain't gonna hurt you. I know it could, but you know what's best for your child, right? So that's like the Lord telling us, don't fear this man, because at the end of the day, he's a fucking Edomite. He's lower than a piece of shit, man. We ain't got shit to be afraid of a fucking Edomite, because the Lord told us so. But I got 2 Maccabees.
We can bring out that, but let's bring out that.
Matthew 10:28.
Yeah, that's
I
what
got it,
Let's bring out that.
Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul.
They can't kill a soul. After Esau, say if he try to torture you and he try to take his time to make it worse, he start picking your fingernails maybe, poking your fingertips. What if the Lord have you bleed out? And before he got to the final finale, you already dead. Now what he gonna do to your soul? Nothing. The body dead, your soul full of life now. And we get that, man. We get that.
Hey, the martyrs in Revelation chapter 2, Antipas, if you look him up, go into a little, research about him, it tells you they put him in that brass bull and burned him alive, so to speak. But when they pulled him out, his body and his flesh wasn't fucked up at all. Right. So Lord preserved his body, and who knows if he felt anything. Lord just took his spirit. That simple.
You gotta trust in the Lord.
Yeah, you got it. We started from the top.
Matthew 10:28. And fear not them which kill the body, but are not able to kill the soul.
Right.
But rather fear him, which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
Come on, man. Meaning what? The Lord can do anything he want to do with you. He can have Esau kill you, then when you go up, say when Jacob's trouble started, if the Lord really want, he can see. Well, it's gonna happen.
Right.
When those missiles, he gonna send your ass right back down.
Right.
So even if you scared of Esau, you got to see him. Esau can still kill you after, just because you took too long to take it. He can still see, niggas gonna think after I take this, then my life gonna go back to normal. I'm gonna get on my podcast again or something like that. His life is done with. It ain't gonna get better. And even after you get it, ain't like you gonna have a 5-course meal after that, and you get put up in a penthouse. Take your ass to the back of that concentration camp, get an MRE pack, and then sit your ass down. That's what it's gonna be. So why would you fear a man like that? It's two things. You can either fear Esau, you can either die by the Lord or die for the Lord.
I got it.
God.
But you look at Boosie right now. He going through all kind of torture. He said he ain't never been in pain like that. Something going on with his heart. But he was making mockery on videos a few years back talking about how the Lord himself ain't gonna stop him from eating no pork.
That's right.
And look at him now, he talking about, I'm gonna change how I've been
yep.
eating. No, nigga, don't change now.
Stand on it.
Don't change now. But that's what the Most High can put you in some shit you didn't see coming and make your life a living, miserable hell. That's torture of the soul. See, he taught, Most High is torturing this man's soul. He's talking only fuck with your body. But that fuck with your soul, now he on tour and can't goddamn, he performed, and you know he had fast performing, then right after the performance, he got to rush to the hospital. That's, you know, and you know how he is, and you know how them niggas, big head niggas are, proud, you know that's fucking with it, you know, but, Galatians 6 and 7, you're not deceived, you're not gonna make mockery of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. He gonna have the last say so, and the Most High ain't through with that nigga by far. No. He think, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do Most High just getting started on that nigga ass. And look, all of them, man, all of them. It's like an epidemic of niggas either getting tortured or just looking bad. Kanye talking about he sucking his cousin dick.
Yeah, bro.
This is all kind of crazy shit. Niggas coming out, just wow. Somebody else came out. But go ahead, But the Most High make you, he can make you miserable, man. Yeah, fuck that.
An example, going into 2 Maccabees, the 6th chapter, on the behalf of a man named Eleazar, up in age, you know, he refused to defile himself by eating abominable foods, right? So he took on the consequences for it. So let's read that account a little bit. 2 Maccabees chapter 6, and I'm going to start at verse 25. It says, and so they, through mine hypocrisy and desire to live a little time and a moment longer to try to preserve your life, it says,
and if I can add, just to give brothers some context if brothers don't know, this is at the time of the Greeks, and just like the MOTB, it was a time period that was forcing people to eat pork, and you had these upstanding forefathers who denied it, and now you had his friends, this man Eleazar, you had his friends who came up with him, remember his older age, and they already sold out and ate the shit, so they was like, look, try to go to him, look, just get some beef, some chicken, some quail, some lamb, and just act like it's pork and eat it. Right. So that's what it's going into now. Here, like, I ain't about to fake this shit, man. You got it, bro.
2 Maccabees chapter 6, in verse 26, it says, for though for the present time I should be delivered from the punishment of men, yet should I not escape the hand of the Almighty, neither alive nor dead. So what's the point of selling out? At the end of the day, you still got to face the Lord to receive your judgment. So there's no point of fearing men and bowing down and bitching up, because at the end of the day, you go fear the one who is going to be feared, bro.
That's right. You either die for the Lord or die by the Lord. If you in that situation, Esau try to threaten you, man, tell him, hey, do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do, because you know what? At least the Lord can save us from Esau and these heathens' hands. These heathens can't save nobody from Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai hand. Esau can't step in and say, hey, he took it. Let him be. No. But if Esau want to try to torture us, the Lord can have us, like the brother said, not feel it, or die, the guillotine, get your head cut off, and then out of nowhere your head starts shaking, come back on your body, you back alive. The Lord can do anything, or if you actually die, you gonna come back on the chariot. First to get beamed up, you good regardless. But if you say, okay, I'll bow down, now you gotta die. Then you're gonna be here when the missiles fall, because the Lord gonna raise up your spirit, and you're gonna look up, it's gonna be missiles, so you're gonna die again. Right. Then you're gonna be in the kingdom and be like, damn, I was tripping. Yeah. So what's better? Serve the Lord, die for the Lord, man. You got it, bro.
I keep reading it. Okay. I'm gonna jump to verse 30. 2 Maccabees 6 and 30. It says, but when he was ready to die with stripes, he groaned and said, it is manifest unto the Lord that hath the holy knowledge, that whereas I might have been delivered from death, I now endure sore pains in my body by suffering these things, because I fear him. And thus this man died, leaving his death for an example, for a noble courage, and a memorial of virtue. not only unto young men, but unto all his nation. And that's an example for us until these days, to this very day. Because the same shit is gonna take place with a microchip. Down the line, it's gonna point to that direction. So if you're faced with that, lean on these scriptures, and that will be our confidence and our courage to get us through those times, just like our forefather Eleazar and the other men we read about.
That's the digital port. The MOTB will be the digital port. Can you read that again?
Yep.
Because it says, though he suffered in his flesh, in his spirit he was well content. Which means we might be feeling pain. Yahushua on the cross, the Lord. You don't think, yeah, he was suffering in his flesh, but he knew, but I'm about to win after this though. Hebrews 12:2, can a brother get that real quick, just to prove that, just to back that up. Yahushua was suffering in the flesh, but he was content in spirit. That's what got him through. You got it.
This is Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 2. Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith.
Come on, it start with him and end with him. Faith start with him and end with him. Think about that. Now our forefathers been had faith, but the ministry of faith and mercy came through Yahweh, John preaching Yahushua. And guess what? Once the Lord come back, an Israelite ain't ever gonna have to have faith ever again.
Right.
Because what is faith? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We're gonna have everything.
Right.
So he gonna put it into faith. We don't have to have faith no more. But he the main example. Look unto him for the example because he know all about it. You got it.
God.
Like Apostle Tahar said, man, the kingdom gonna be sweet. You'll be able to think of something and manifest it. We're gonna be bringing shit into reality, bro. It's gonna be crazy. You know, brothers got wild imagination. So, yeah, it's gonna be nice.
And we see a foreshadow, like think about it. And see, everything the Lord blessed these heathens with, he have it on a higher level. That's why we know the vehicles that the Lord coming back with, the world know them as UFOs. We know them as the chariots of the Lord, the chariots of Israel. Sound crazy, right? But think about it like this. So you telling me, people, men on earth, especially heathens, the so-called white man and, you know, so on and so forth, Chinese man, right? They able to build planes, drones, things to fly in the air, do all kind of maneuvers, but the Heavenly Father don't got no vehicle. He can't make none of that though. And even if you say, yeah, UFO is real, so is it aliens in there? Is it the grays, ET no father still? No, man, that's the angels.
Right.
And that's the people who the world ignorantly call Jesus. That's what he go come back on. Not in it, on it. Because it say you go see him. And the prophet say he go stand on top of it. That's why it's gonna be a salvation like never before. See, the people don't know that though. The church that they don't teach. This is the truth, man. This is the truth. That's why his salvation gonna be like never before. Wisdom of Solomon 5 says so far beyond all these people's imagination. Who would have ever thought that chariots, UFOs, and the Lord, the Son of God, and the angels was gonna come back and save the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans out of captivity, right? And not just saying this, you have to be those people, but you might not look like those people. We've been scattered for thousands of years. But your bloodline have to go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and one of those 12 tribes. And today, mainly, we will look like a so-called, as our bywords, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. But we the Israelites. That's how we're going to get saved from this condition. By the Lord, man.
Right.
Divine intervention. So we ain't trusting in ourselves. That's why we cool. We cool. We see the world falling. And we don't have to pick up a sword. We don't have to waste time and get an army and men we can trust. No. Keep pushing the word. Prophecy gonna be fulfilled and the Lord go come. Just gotta go back to Egypt. How did we get out of Egypt without an army? Divine intervention, man. That's how Moses and Aaron brought the Israelites out. By the Lord. You got what you got, where we at? You still in that? Yeah, let's finish that Hebrews 12, bro.
Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 2. Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith.
That's the true name of the Lord, Yahushua, which that's Hebrew. The Lord was a Hebrew and he spoke Hebrew. We didn't lose the language of who we were to captivity. And what Yahushua means, Yah, he, and Yahushua, Savior or deliverer. That's what he come and do. That ain't Jesus, man. What you going to Jesus, it means earth pig. No, earth dirt. Earth dirt. What's earth shit you step on? It's not real. That's not the man who was on the cross, his name wasn't Jesus. The apostles weren't going around telling people repent in the name of Jesus. When he came to Apostle Paul, when Apostle Paul got knocked off his horse, he said, a man spoke to me in the Hebrew tongue, and said, my name is, it would have to be Yahushua, because Jesus not Hebrew.
What you quote?
Con, you got it. You can read it real quick.
This is Acts chapter 26 and verse 14. And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me, and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. And I said, Who art thou, Lord? And he said,
Can you say Jesus, just to see if it sounds right? Because it said, he spoke to me in the Hebrew. Can you just say Jesus, I gotta say it. And then can we go back and say how it's, just to get it. We're going to read it verbatim first, right?
Read it verbatim. Acts chapter 26 and verse 14. It says, And when we were all fallen to the earth, I heard a voice speaking unto me, and saying in the Hebrew tongue, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks. Verse 15. And I said, Who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest.
Hey, that's what I was about. You know what I think about? The Jesus from last night on the Thursday Live, smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
Yeah, smoking a cigarette, stressing.
With a
You
Marlboro.
said it right, Joe.
So if it's in the Hebrew, how can his name be Jesus?
You say I was laughing. You say he had an IPA, and then I said he had with a Marlboro.
I had a Jesus picture on Google. He had a tall boy, right?
Yeah.
It looked like the IPA color and the cigarette. That's just funny.
Verse 15 it says, And I said, Who art thou, Lord? And he said, I am, since it's in the Hebrew, it would be Yahushua, whom thou persecutest. That was the point. His name cannot be Jesus if he spoke to Paul or Saul at the time in the Hebrew tongue. No way possible. Then you contradict yourself by you saying there's no name under heaven, but Jesus ain't a Hebrew name, so what the fuck you really talking about?
And that's to show you they really ain't grounded. Because once you say, well, Jesus wasn't his name, yeah, I know his name was Yeshua. See, they don't know. Yahushua. They don't know. You don't know. So when the time comes to where you gonna need that, you ain't gonna know. And then if you try to call on the IUIC or whatever, what the name was, Yahushua. Romans 10 said, how could you call on that name and who you have never believed?
Right.
You ain't been believing on him. You ain't, when you got in that situation, you said Most High Christ bless at the end of your prayer. You put Most High Christ bless Jesus, the black Messiah. That man ain't gonna come to Yahushua ain't come and save nobody who call on him in that.
Right.
But you can finish that out. But Yahushua, that was the main example we need to look at for faith, man. Because although it didn't feel good in the flesh, he was comforting in his spirit. That's how we should be. Although things might not be convenient for us right now, even when the times get hard, we should be okay in the spirit, man.
Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 2, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of Yahweh, Hashem Yahushua.
It says, for the joy that was set before him. What's the joy? Just y'all two brothers' name? Yaquah. What's the joy that was set before Yahushua? The kingdom. The kingdom. That's the answer right there. That's the joy that's set before him. You know? But in a few details, what the Lord want to do, he want to come back on earth to his rulership. What's one thing? You know what to tell you Yahushua want to do? In John 17,
that's what I was saying.
he said, Father, he said, bring me back to the glory. He want to stunt a little bit. He said, bring me back to the glory that you gave me. He was like, and the ones you gave me, bring them here with me so I can show them what I got. Yeah, he want to stunt.
Yeah.
Hey, even what he want to see us again, how bad we want to see him, he want to see us. He want to fellowship, we fellowship. He want to sip yah with us, talk about what happened. He told us that. I ain't gonna drink it right now with y'all, I'm drinking new in the kingdom. Yeah, that's something he want to do, man. Having slaves of his own. What he say, if this was my kingdom, my servants gonna fight. He want to finally do that.
Right.
He want to do that. That's the joy that was set before Yahushua, so therefore he was able to do what again, Art?
Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 2, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross.
Because of what he was thinking about what he was going to get, he was on the cross and he was on them. He could have easily, remember he said himself, you don't think I could call 7 or 12 legions of angels from my father and they could get busy, Peter, put your knife up. You don't think the Lord could have just broke out the whatever? No, but you got it, bro.
It's like even when they came to arrest him at the Garden of Gethsemane, he knocked them back. He's like, you looking for me? And they went and flew back.
And he got up, he said, I said, who y'all looking for? They trying to get up Yahweh Shai of Nazareth. He said, well, I'm him, take me and let them go there. Yeah, bro, Yahweh Shai was like that. You know, nigga, people like the little characters on the movies, and Yahweh Shai was really like that. And I ain't talking about in a YN manner either. Right, but Yahweh Shai was really like that, bro. So, and he had to come as the lamb. A lot of times, he even told the scribes and Pharisees, a lot of stuff I want to tell you or not, but I ain't here to do my own will. Think about when he come back to do what he want to do. To do what he want to do. Yep. And he said he think about it. He said the day of vengeance is in my heart. And the year of my redeemer is come. He think about that, man. That's why he was able to go through the suffering. You got it, huh?
Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 2, looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down at the right hand of the throne of the Most High.
Now he good. Now he good. So now, seeing when he was on the cross, he was excited to get that. You don't think he wanted a little bit more now that it's all said and done? He ready, bro. That's why Yahweh Shai gonna come back in a man. He gonna come back. Like I said, what you got?
The fire is kindled already. Like Yahweh Shai said, he said, if this fire be kindled already, what you think is gonna be when he actually returns? In the second Ezra, the second chapter, it tells you, basically Yahweh Shai is longing for the number of his saints to be fulfilled.
Right.
Yep. So he's waiting on to be reunited with his saints, those that stand simply for his name in this earth, who these motherfuckers try to cancel out.
Did you have that in the second John 17?
No, I didn't get it.
I'll read this real quick in Luke 12 and 49 in the NLT. He says, I have come to set the world on fire, and I wish it were already burning. Right. So Yahweh Shai was in that spirit. He wished it was already burning. How much more now that he watching too? Because he don't know the day. So he's still watching to see. Now granted he know, but he's still watching too. He's still paying attention to some things. Now, I don't know in detail, right? I'm sure you know way more, right? But he still don't know the day. He still got to pay attention to the signs. You got it, huh?
An example of what the brother just said. Look at the account with Stephen. The Lord was watching him. Whenever his saint was being persecuted, you know, and under torment, Yahweh Shai was seeing exactly what he was going through. And Stephen didn't worry about the stones and the rocks being, you know, thrown at him. And looking at an old video of how they used to stone people, it wasn't no little fucking pebbles, bro. Like the boulders, signs that you could pick up. A video that we saw, nigga, whole jawbone ripped off and shit, man. So he's going through that type of torture or suffering, but yet his eye is focused on the Lord. He's seen Yahweh Shai not sitting, standing on the right hand of his Father.
That's right, bro.
Yeah.
That's right, bro. Look, hey, we want to fall into the lot of our forefathers. We can finally take it out in that first Maccabees too. We want to fall into the lot of Yahweh Shai and our forefathers. Them men stood stiffly. Even to this day, the most known men ever in history are who? Yahweh Shai, or who the world called Jesus. You know, King David and Abraham. Our people, our forefathers.
Right.
So think about it. We stand in that same lot in the world to come forever. Guess who go? Yes, those men. We want to be a part of that number, man. That's what's going on right now.
Right.
That's what's going on, right? See, well, we don't give a flying F about these people, what they think. They already lost. They already lost. They already been conquered. You see? Our mind is way past this. We kind of like Yahweh Shai. We just got to wait the time out. We just waiting to tell you about to say something.
That word for lost and the scripture goes back to destroyed. So you already destroyed.
Why? Because they followed the son of perdition. You got it, all right?
This is second Maccabees.
Yes.
I mean, I do. Okay, you got it. Well, this is second Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 14. This is talking about the 7 sons that were tortured for not eating pork. And it says, this is second Maccabees chapter 7 and verse 14. It says, so when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good being put to death by men, to look for hope from the Most High, to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life. And these are our forefathers. These are the things that they endured, but they had that hope, that faith that the Lord, just like Abraham, he had the faith that if he put Isaac to death, that he would resurrect him. And that's what we have to have in the times to come. We can't fear man.
I can read that in the GMT. This is the same scripture, second Maccabees 7 and 14 in the GMT. It says, But his final words were, I am glad to die at your hands because we have the assurance that the Most High will raise us from death. But there will be no resurrection to life for you, Antiochus. So that's a direct cut, and he threw his name in there directly. But for us, it's a sure assurance that we got resurrection from death. We have life to look forward to. It's prophesied we're going to live forever. You know, the days of Israel are innumerable, okay?
Yeah, I think, I forget where it's at. Cause I'm in Corinthians. It's at the end of 1 Corinthians 1, I believe. And Apostle Paul was pretty much going into like, if you don't believe Yahweh Shai rose from the dead, us who's supposed to believe that, if that's not true, we already lost.
Right, yeah.
If Yahweh Shai didn't rise from the dead and he not coming back to raise us up, if that's not true, we through. We through. I think it's in 1 Corinthians when he says, what can you bring out that book? Strive for the truth together.
This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 4 and verse 28. Strive for the truth unto death, and Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai shall fight for thee. So we're fighting for the truth. Hey, if we gotta die, hey, so be it. But we know that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is going to defend his people. He's going to fight for us. Hey, as long as we fight for him, we're fighting for his name. And what's that also in what? Revelation. I can't remember. It's 3 verse 10. I say, because you stood so stiffly.
He keeps me from the word because we kept the word of his patience.
You can read it and go back to that. You gotta go.
I'm thinking of 2. I'm thinking of 2 Ezra 2 and. Oh, this is Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, and that word for kept means the guarded. You took care of the word. You treated this word like a precious commodity, because it is. So you treated this word because thou hast kept the word of my patience.
I got patience going into suffering, and because you continue to believe in that thing through what you was going through.
God. Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So this is what's coming. Jacob's trouble. This is going to be a worldwide thing. There's going to be nowhere safe to be.
Right.
And because you keeping Yahweh Shai's word, you keeping the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, hey, you're going to be protected. That don't mean you're not going to have to go through any of this, but you're going to make it. You're not going to lose your crown. You're not going to lose the reward that's ahead of us. The same thing like Yahweh Shai enduring the cross for what's ahead. So,
I got this real quick just to go into what we talking about. Yahweh Shai coming, changing our bodies, and then, we gonna rule. If that's not the truth, we might as well just pack it up. We might as well just be like the people and live it up because we through. That's what the Apostle Paul about to say. This 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 13. It says, for if there is no resurrection of the dead, then Mashiach has not been raised either. So if nobody raised from the dead, then Yahweh Shai should still be over there in the tomb for Joseph of Arimathea, right? But he not, because he rose. That's the point. It says, and if Mashiach has not been raised, then all of our preaching is useless and your faith is useless. So why are we out here? If Yahweh Shai ain't raised, then why are we out here? Because if he didn't raise, how are we going to get out of captivity? It says, and we apostles would be lying about the Most High. But we have said that the Most High raised Mashiach from the grave. But that can't be true if there is no resurrection of the dead. It says, and if there is no resurrection of the dead, then Mashiach has not been raised. And if Mashiach has not been raised, then your faith is useless and you are still guilty of your sins. In that case, all who have died believing in Mashiach are lost. They just go in the grave forever in the abyss. It says, and if our hope, the ones who are alive, and if our hope in Mashiach is only for this life, because when we rise, we go into another life, right? So if believing in Yahweh Shai only for the now, and we don't get raised and go to a next life, it says, and if our hope in Mashiach is only for this life, we are more to be pitied than anyone in the world. We fucking through them. Because now we got to start over with everything. No, man. That's why, bro, go out on believing in Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, brother, just bring it out. Strive for the truth unto death. These things going to happen. If Yahushua rose on the right-hand side, he said, he prophesied about it. John 14, where I am, I'm going to come get y'all and bring y'all with me. It's prophesied about it. See, but you can end it off on that first Maccabees.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 49. Now, when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons.
I'm coming back at you, Yaquan. Who is Mattathias, huh? Who is Mattathias, huh? And we're in Maccabees, 1 Maccabees. Oh, I think we finally got Jonah. Uh-oh. 4, 3, 2. Now you good, brother. You good. You know, we're blessed with you because you get everything right, you know. But Mattathias, that's the father of the sons of the Maccabees sons. Judas Maccabees and his brother, that's their father. Now, he was on his deathbed. He about to pass away. And he about to give him a warning before he leave, kind of like on the left-hand side, the Rothschild's father. Before he was down here, like, look, y'all gotta go deceive, do wickedness. He was teaching them how to do the banking industry so they could keep it in the family. So he was giving the same thing on the righteous side. You got it.
1 Maccabees chapter 2.
And you know what? When we go into a time like this, you know how you gotta give people a pep talk?
Yep.
What's the pep talk for Israelites? What should it be? The acts of old that our forefathers did. The Most High did with our forefathers. Right. That's the pep talks. Just like when Judas Maccabees, before he was about to go to war, he was like, man, remember David, man. Remember so-and-so. You got it, bro.
1 Maccabees chapter 2 and 49. Now when the time drew near that Mattathias should die, he said unto his sons, now hath pride and rebuke gotten strength, and the time of destruction, and the wrath of indignation. Now therefore, my sons, be ye zealous for the law.
So seeing y'all at the end, wickedness growing up, nobody respect righteousness, the same predicament we in, right? This the mindset to have. You got it, bro.
Be ye zealous for the law.
Hey, what other times of Paul popped it off with? Getting your mind out of this world, and once you come into your house, you're going to want to keep the law more instead of thinking that the things of this world are just okay to do. No, you're going to want to change your mind, because think about it. If you are okay with what's happening now, when Esau come with the real deception, MOTB, you're going to be fully with it. Right. No, get towards the way of the Lord right now, man. You got it.
Be ye zealous for the law, and give your lives for the covenant of your fathers.
Die for this thing if you have to.
Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time.
He said, call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. Romans 15 and 4, right? The things that was written aforetime was written for our learning, so that we through patience and comfort of what was written aforetime, we gonna have hope in our time. Right. We gonna have hope in our time, so that's what he's telling them. Remember how y'all forefathers went out. Remember how those, even Abraham, it ain't just about being a warrior, which Abraham would whoop a nigga ass too. That's what he did when he had to go get Lot back. And they was like, man, who this is? He was up in age whooping niggas asses, man. Well, heathens, right? But even his integrity, like how when he had to buy some land, I believe, from the Egyptian was like, man, I'm gonna just give it to you. Abraham was like, nah, because you could probably come back with a million, you fall out, and what if I get rich? You can say, I bless Abraham with this. He said, to make this permanent, I'm gonna pay you for everything. Yeah, that even not just, oh, Jacob Trump, I'm gonna get my power. No, even how we go about our day-to-day life, decision making, all those things are being written. What type of person we are, how we respond to situations, all those things are being written, man. You got it, huh?
First Maccabees 2 and 51, call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name.
Hey, just to tell you to be upright with integrity. See, niggas could be lying and not thinking nobody see it the whole time is in the book. Ananias and Sapphira, who they didn't think nobody was gonna know they was lying. You know what's crazy? They didn't think they was gonna be in the Bible. And everybody know you fucking lied. Excuse my language, but they didn't think like that. Like everybody gonna know we came together and lied and all that. No, see the Lord, bro. The Lord writing everything down, whether it be in the scriptures or whether he gonna have it as a hidden book. These things are being recorded, man. Yeah, it's written who ages, who so and so. That's your story. If you want to go out like that, cool. But hey, how you want to be remembered, man? You got it, bro.
Verse 52. Was not Abraham found faithful?
And I can say this, and this, I'm gonna just let you read. And that's why we gotta pray and really that the Lord have mercy on us, because it ain't like we could just say our own story how we want to do it. We fear the Lord, man, that He got us able to endure all these things that's about to come. But the point is having that confidence. The elect gonna put on that confidence. You got it.
Verse 52. It says, was not Abraham found faithful?
Can you read that again? 51.
First Maccabees 2 and 51. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name.
So you could be remembered too. What book and chapter can we go to about the apostles prophesying in Babylon, and give me one of their names? For example, name me one of the prophets who name me one of the prophets who prophesied in ancient Babylon. You had Ezekiel, you had Jeremiah. Well, when the ancient Babylon was ruling, right? But the thing is, now can you name me a prophet who was prophesying in Babylon the Great? Why not? Because it's happening. We live in it. Like we live in it. We don't have the accounts on who did what in the hour of temptation. No, we got what Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego did in the fire though. That happened. We living out the feet and the toes right now. Go, where's the feet and the toes? What precept the feet and the toes? We living it. It's the point, man. You got it, Doc.
First Maccabees 2 and 51. Call to remembrance what acts our fathers did in their time. So shall ye receive great honor and an everlasting name. Was not Abraham found faithful in temptation, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness? Joseph, in the time of his distress, kept the commandment and was made Lord of Egypt. Phinehas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood. And he says Jesus, but in this context, it will be Joshua, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven. And that's Elijah. Verse 59, it says, Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael, but it says, by believing, were saved out of the flame. Daniel, for his innocency, was delivered from the mouth of lions.
See, it went through a whole plethora of our forefathers, right? So if we got that now, Lord easily came through for them.
Verse 61, and thus consider ye throughout all ages that none that put their trust in him shall be overcome.
We believe in Yahweh Shema Shah, we're going to be all right. You know, the kids of Lamar, yeah, no, Lord willing, going to be all right in these times, man. No, even if it have to be a martyr or you going to see Yahweh Shah is coming.
Verse 62, it says, fear not then the words of a sinful man.
Don't fear Esau.
For his glory shall be dung and worms. Today he shall be lifted up, and tomorrow he shall not be found. Because he is returned unto his dust, and his thought is come to naught.
In other words, at the end of the day, we going to win. The Israelites going to win, man. But trust in Yahweh Shema Shah. That's the point. And in these times, like the woman said in the famine in 2 Kings 6, when she was told by the king, he said, woman, if the Lord ain't helping you, how you expect me to help you? Well, what you mean? You a king. You should have some no. So everybody about to lose. If Yahweh Shema Shah, Ba'ashem Chakodash is not with an individual, you already lost. Like it said in John 3, you already lost and condemned. You know, but other times of power, you had anything? No. But is there anything? And we'll end it right down. You know, Lord willing, the street speaking, the sacrifice was edifying. And with that, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Chakodash.
And your double honors once again unto the apostles. And notice a great millstone as well as the men that taught them, and peace and blessings to all you watching them out there, pushing his word with all truth and sincerity. That's what I saw you believers out there who believe on the gospel. Keep fighting, keep pushing. We're almost out here. Shalom.
Shalom. Kwam Yashala.